I know.
And so, yo, what I've been dealing with, yo, this is the concept that I've been talking about all week about power.
Yeah.
So you're a big guy.
Yeah.
You're a big guy, been a big guy your whole life.
I have.
All right. So that means sometimes you're a big guy like yourself. You have power. People are scared of you, right? Sometimes. You know what I mean?
No, but I get what you're saying.
Okay. Yo, I used to think the power was like this. Like I'm not a big guy, but I have power, believe it or not. And I used to say my power is like infinite. I'm like powerful dude.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. The line of power is like this.
All right.
It's just a line. It ain't a gap.
Let's go. Listen.
This.
See that?
Like I'm not a big guy, but I have power.
That's you. That's you having power,
And
man.
I used to say
Because
my
we weren't chimed in.
So powerful dude. Yeah.
That's you, man. We all live because I didn't put the audio in yet.
It says starting soon. I'm not a big
Nah,
guy.
we're on, man.
You
You just said all that, man. We trying to give everybody a preview. We put the mics in. The mics ain't in yet, but don't put them in now.
Yeah, we all live because my point is that when you, especially as a father, when you step out on your wife,
We're trying to give everybody a preview.
that you pay for.
Here you go. Put your mics on. Here you go. Put it on. There you go.
You all of a sudden are not, just because you're a big dude don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. It means she gonna tell you what you gonna do.
Yeah.
We gotta start.
And
guys.
you have to eat it because she has the power. And so one of the things that you don't want to do, that I don't want to do, is change the structure, because right now the structure is Malik, wife, kid.
We rolling, baby.
And all everybody still stay starting soon. And
No.
Abdul was just going on one, so we're gonna
So
hear the ambience of the backdrop.
When men don't do what they're supposed to do,
Yeah.
We're live.
the order
Yeah.
gets put out of play.
That's a fact.
Hi everybody.
Dudes it went from father at the top
Yeah.
to father at the bottom.
Got you.
Kids got more. Kids get to a point. They teenagers. They say, "Yo, Dad, I don't want to see you today." They have a choice.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're in a precarious situation. But when you are a committed father, when you're in the home every day, when you set structure and rules, that doesn't happen because you're there. Yeah. But you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile. That's where that comes from. You give a kid an inch, they're gonna take a mile. You give her in your relationship, you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile. That's how fast your power goes. Because you're not doing the things that you should do, that you're supposed to do.
So it's interesting because then I find something.
Oh, no, it's not interesting. Let's get all our people involved here. We're on live. We're live. We just jumped in.
Me and Malik.
I know.
Yeah.
You feel like we just walked in on something. Listen, get everybody caught up. Can we start the show?
All right,
and then
ladies
you can
and
go into some
gentlemen,
stuff. And Malik was about to go in. I'm like,
I want to hear what Malik had to say.
I know you do.
I want to hear what he had to say. But
you gotta
my name is Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad. Welcome to the Manhood Tree Podcast.
We're back. We're here.
We are back again. We started a little late today, but guess what?
No, we didn't start late. They were talking already. You can tell.
It's a great show. Across from me, we have
Alonzo Lee Beckett.
Alonzo Lee Bucket is here. And over to my right, today we have
Malik Champlain.
Malik came in, he filled on. Today's topic is brotherhood, and a brother like Malik just shows up every time, and I appreciate it. I just want everybody online to know that I appreciate Malik Champlain. He's the type of brother that we need in our lives.
Come on, I appreciate it.
So we also have another guest coming in. He's gonna be a little late, but we're gonna get started with the show. Malik, what were you gonna say? Well, I was talking about the power. You were about to make a point, and then Zoe cut you off.
Listen,
he showed up there too. He showed up there.
Gotta get everybody involved.
But respect. So we were talking about power, and then and how we can give up that power, right, by the decisions that we make.
That's right.
So what I was saying was that I was also having some conversations around power and this idea that sometimes men are held to have responsibility, but no authority, right? So when you think about power, right, is that like responsibility without authority is slavery, right? So now you could be doing all the right things,
right.
but you don't understand, to your point, the order in which things need to go
right.
by the way that God has designed it for you.
That's right.
Right? So
That's
then
right.
now when you have this idea is that you think that it's not whether or not who's leading, it's whether or not you're a good leader.
Right.
Right? And then so now you have advocated your power,
right,
but you still have all the responsibility.
Yes.
Right? And that in essence for me is also slavery. And I remember having 2 conversations recently with men about that idea around, no, I'm not saying to go and dominate your family.
Right.
To go dominate your wife.
Right.
But what I am saying is that you have to stand in the gap.
Right.
You have to make sure that you live by design, not default. And you have to make sure that you are called to lead, to protect, and to love.
So you're hitting on a very important point, because you're talking about leadership. Somebody got to lead, and you and so like every day, traditionally, men take the leadership role.
Yes.
I'm not saying that my wife don't take some leadership role sometimes, but what I'm saying is that when we have the men who are having all of these difficulties with being able to see their kids and having access to their kids and being in their kids' life, the reason why those things are happening is because they put the cart before the horse. There are some things that when you do things in order, it does make it where you don't have the problems and the issues that other people might have. Because if you have the kid before you make a decision about whether or not you guys are going to be together for the rest of your life, then you have a child who's going to be alive for 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years.
Got you.
And you haven't made the commitment to their mother to be able to stay with them for 10 years, 5 years.
Yes.
And so this child is going to grow and become and do all the things. And so, but the control of it, the leadership of it is not in your hand. You're not even a part of the decision-making process. You're not even a part of the vision, the dreams, the goals, the hopes. Like, this is what you do when you got a partner.
Yes.
And you sit up late at night. You know, she pregnant. You go through, all that stuff you go through during that 9 months. That 9 months, people think, oh, the woman is going through the 9 months by themselves. No. When you're in a relationship, you go through that 9 months together. You start dreaming. You want to name the child. You had a name for your child before 9 months, Zoe, right?
Definitely.
You had to decide that you were going to name him after you. That was the first part of it, right?
Yeah.
And then also you want to give reverence to your family as well. These are decisions we're making together. But when you aren't together, you end up check this out. How is legacy passed on in a family? How is legacy passed on in a family? This isn't even our topic tonight.
No.
But since we started it, I might as well just talk a little bit. How is legacy passed on in a family?
This is a question you're asking us.
This is a question I'm asking you.
How do I think it's passed on by what I do now.
Okay.
Right? What things I'm putting in place, like the systems I'm putting in place for him to follow.
I want you to think about it in the sense of, even if no matter what you do, how is legacy passed on in a family? There's only one way.
Talk to me.
How?
I tell you, legacy is only passed on through your son, first of all. Married to somebody else, your name could die.
Got you.
But so first of all, to have a legacy, like in the traditional sense,
you need a man, you need a boy.
You need a son, first of all. Second of all, your son has to have your last name. Now, go back again to our initial conversation. When you have a child out of wedlock and you don't have a relationship with the mother, and she decides, I'm going to name my son after my dad.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep his legacy going on. But your legacy is dead because your son doesn't get your last name.
It's over after that.
And so this happens. My father changed his name. My father didn't have his father's last name. And he decided, Lance changed his name. He decided, Lance said, my father was not in my life. Why do I carry his name? I'm going to change my name to something else to start a new legacy. I'm going to erase you out of my life. I'm going to erase you out of history.
That's heavy.
And so, but men, a lot of men, young men, we're not thinking about this when we're just going out having sex.
Yeah.
When we're just saying, oh, this girl is easy. I'm going to have sex with her. oh snap, she's pregnant. I don't even like her.
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with someone's daughter earlier, and I have it with my son as well. I tell him it's easy to have. When you look at someone, you gotta remember, man. If you don't want to use a condom, cool.
Right.
But you gotta know that you could possibly be with that person for the rest of your life.
The rest of your life.
That's what you gotta think, man. For the
You
rest
know,
of your life.
a lot of dudes say 18 years.
Nah, it's for
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Forever.
But that's the conversation. It's as if, okay, I'm just gonna be a father for 18 years.
Right.
I'm just gonna at 18, if I can get this kid to 18, get him out of high school, her out of high school, I did my job.
Right.
But over here, what we're talking about is fatherhood is forever. We talk. See, this is men have to have conversations because before you have these conversations, do you know how many times I've heard somebody say that 18-year thing and it didn't even click for me until recently, where I was like, yo, no, I am responsible for my kids until the day I die.
Yeah.
I don't. If my son is 40 years old and he says, Dad, I need to come home. I need to come home. I'm responsible for him.
Right.
He's mine. I brought him into this world. I raised him up.
Yep.
I taught him.
Yep.
And so just because when he hits 40, he hits a bump in the road because people are hitting bumps in the road every day.
Life,
right?
Yeah. Life be life.
So come home, son. I got a room for you.
Support system you should have.
Come home, daughter.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens because in my mind, I didn't get you to 18. I got you for life. And I'm planning every single day. We talk about legacy early.
Yep.
I'm thinking about, okay, when I'm not here anymore, what can I leave them? What can I help them with? Can I leave them some property? Do I have a plan for them?
Yes.
Some people just have kids. They're not never thinking about all of the possibilities.
It's helping them.
All of the ways that you could be in their life. So I just want to. I don't know how we got on this topic.
No.
You're just talking randomly.
I wanted to
before we
make sure I
started.
added the idea that when you were talking about that is that I think about this when I speak to young adults. It's like your commitment needs to match your intimacy. Right. And when it doesn't, that's when we fall into those, right, putting the cart before the horse. Right. And as I'm thinking about that, but like how do you have intimacy? Right. And this is a whole other topic that we could another day get into. But like, what's the difference between intimacy and sex?
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And I think about like I've had sex before.
Of course. Yeah.
But then I think about like the intimacy that I have with my wife.
Right.
Right. I think about the spiritual intimacy. I think about the emotional intimacy.
Right.
And then also thinking about the physical intimacy.
Yes.
Right. And the oneness within that. Right. And this idea of not necessarily being engaged in something for me, but in essence, both of us being engaged in something with both of us in mind.
Right.
Right. And this idea of really knowing and really growing with that. Right. And having that bond.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that and your commitment isn't matching your intimacy, then you fall into those problems.
Yeah.
But then thinking about the idea of fatherhood is forever is at the beginning of this year, my daughter, August 31st, my oldest just turned 10.
Yes.
Right. So she's in her double-digit era. Nice. And I started thinking to myself, what is it that I want to like legacy? Like I want them to know, right? Like consistently, like what kind of drum into their mind? Because next year she goes into middle school, and I'm just thinking of like, right, how can I be intentional? So the three things that I'm saying to her and to all three of my children is that like every day they have to hear from me, right? Is that you are mine.
You're mine.
Number one. Number two, I love you, right? And then number three, like I'm pleased with you, like as in like I'm pleased with you not because of what you like. There's a level of like achievement because I'm big on like pushing effort, not necessarily what you did, but but I'm pleased with you because you are my child, right? Like because I love you and I love everything about you.
I love it,
right? And like how can I reinforce that consistently? And that's been something that like I've been like I'm reminding myself consistently to say it and to do it because if we're not doing it, the enemy is.
That's right.
They're sowing discord, they're sowing doubt, right?
Putting
all
something in their mind, right?
Right. And it's like, how can I have the prevention? How can I give them this armor? How can I go ahead and make sure that like you're going to have identity in so many things, but you need to know that this identity is not going to change until I die, right? That you're always going to be mine, right? Even when I'm gone, like you are mine, right?
That's right.
Right. And there's something to that. And I remember probably 2 weeks ago, I was talking with my wife on the couch, and we were talking like about that, right? Because she's like, you say that, and I'm like, she's starting to say it. Yeah. Right. And now it's this thing where I'm like, but like, you have to understand, like, I didn't meet my father until I was 23. So when I met him, I remember the first time I met him, mind you, to your point about last names, I should be a Tab.
Right.
My original name was Stephen Lewis Tab Jr.
Yep.
I was a junior, right? My mom had complications. He gave me his name. My mom changed my name when I was about 5.
Right.
Right. He's locked up. He can't contest it. He can't fight it. Right. So she changed my name. Like, people called me Malik, but she officially changed it. Right. So I remember the first time I met him, he's like, yo, what's going on, Junior? Right? So then now my energy is like, my man, you ain't putting in no work for me to be nobody's junior. Right? It's Malik.
Yes.
And so we didn't click the first night. So I stayed at my grandmother's, right? Mind you, it's the first time I'm meeting her too. And then he comes back the next day and we're talking, and he's saying something about my mother that's like, I'm not feeling, and we're arguing, but he said something to me that I didn't know that I needed, or I didn't have the words for it, which was, he was saying something like, regardless of what you say, you're still my son.
That's right.
Right? And I've never had a grown man tell me.
Right.
Regardless of what was going on. Like, he was alcoholic, he was on drugs, he was all the things.
Right.
But in that moment, right, it just pierced me.
Yeah.
Right? And
powerful.
And I didn't know how God was working in my life, because now when I say it to them, right, like, I never knew that type of covering. Right? And then now I'm able to give it to them consistently.
Right. I'll get it. I just want to say one thing before I go get the door.
Yeah.
Your kids are growing up fast.
Man.
And I want you to lock in on that.
Come on.
Because look at my kids. Right? You remember they were little? No, I know. So I'm going to get the door. Yeah. So take it from here. Do the dream cards.
Oh, we do the dream cards. We do the dream
bring
cards.
Bring them out.
Cards. All right, we got the extra guests coming to the studio right now. We're gonna get these dream cards.
Where the cards at?
They're right there. Give me that 6'9" reach. Yeah, let me get that little reach over there.
I got like half of them.
Right. Boom, right. So now what we do here in the dream card, that we basically do is we have our guests take a card, and then we're gonna read what's on the card, and then we're gonna have some conversations about the card. There you go. Take any card out of there and take one, give it back.
Any card?
Any card.
Okay,
any
that's
video
me.
card. There you go.
That's me.
Any.
Shout out to any video.
Gotta throw that in there.
All right, I got you.
All right, well, you got your card.
Don't sweat it.
No, not yet.
My bad.
Don't sweat it. Go. Oh, you.
Oh, right. Peace King.
He in there, friend. You got friend. Hey, you perfect right here. All right. We had a deep conversation. Taking these cards.
All right, audience, stay with us.
Boom. Here you go. That's you.
I got one.
All right. Boom. So what we doing these dreams? Hey, welcome everybody. Let me add them into the fold here. All right, we got them on the camera already. Boom. Yeah, we almost ready. Oh, we already started. I don't know why I put that up. Don't worry about it, everybody. Get everybody in there.
Don't lose the peoples, though. Come on, man.
People here, man. We got the people. I'm just
Malik, do a short poem to keep people entertained.
We're already on. That's what I make. Everybody's you Malik, see yourselves?
Give them something, Malik.
You feel
Keep
me?
them in there, man.
No.
All right, we're on.
It said, yo, I'm the unspoken words of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
He's ready.
I represent the brother that rock chains and those that write checks.
We're on.
All right.
We got a fourth. Why don't you introduce our guests real quick before we get in?
Okay.
Speaking to the mic, bro. Speaking to the mic.
Reintroduce everybody.
My brothers.
Okay. Just joining us a little late today, but over to my left, we got introduce yourself.
Timothy Freeline the first, a community advocate, father, and happy to be here.
Hey, we're happy you made it. Tonight we're going to be talking about brotherhood. You missed it. We already had a whole conversation.
We really didn't start. Don't worry about it.
No, we started. It was already 30 minutes of fire.
Jump in.
We done.
See.
We could leave. I can go eat dinner.
Hey. Okay. Dream Decks is number 2. We're on Dream Decks right now.
So we'll start with you, Malik. What you get?
Okay, bet. Don't sweat it. Before you know it, it will be over.
Nice. Tell us what that means to you.
I like that.
Man, life's a marathon, man. You can't get caught up and tripped up in mile 2, 3, or 4.
That's right.
You got to take the longer approach, right? So just move past it, get better, don't be bitter.
All right. So what you get?
I got write down your hopes and dreams.
Now you actually do this. So tell us what do you have written down right now? What are your top 10?
Oh, my hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
I do affirmations. I do like 10 different affirmations.
It's
a day.
the same thing.
Yeah. So I got affirmations like I'm a great man.
Yes.
A great businessman.
Come on.
Okay.
A great father.
Nice.
A great friend.
Uh-huh.
It's all divine timing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get money.
I love it.
It's already on its way.
Uh-huh.
Things like that.
That's what you every day.
Stuff like that. I say those every day.
Yeah.
So I believe if you say those things, then you feel like you have to do them, man. So write down your hopes and dreams. So ain't none hopes about it, but they dreams.
Yeah.
But there ain't no hopes. I'm not hoping nothing. I'm putting in the work. So if if you write down, you say it intentionally every day, those things are gonna come true because you're putting in the work to do it.
Indeed. All right, Tim, what you got?
I got trust the process.
Trust the process. What does that mean?
You're a Philly fan? You're not a Philly fan, no?
I'm a Philly fan.
Are you?
I'm a Mavs fan.
Oh,
but
okay.
Shout out to Joel. That's the first thing I thought about when I saw it, too.
Yeah.
So to me, trust the process is knowing and trusting in yourself and having a faith and supporting yourself.
Okay.
So a lot of times we get, sometimes more so, some get caught up in like the applause and just worry about the work and worry about trusting that you have it,
right,
and trusting in yourself that you already are going to obtain that.
Yes.
So when you talk about your affirmations, getting the money, it's already gotten. It's just what's going to happen in between here and that.
I love it. I love it. Bar. Mine says, who do you know that can get you closer to your dream? Who do you know that can get you closer to your dream?
Ooh.
So, you know what? Right now, my number one dream is to get a kidney.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number one dream. And I think that, I don't know anybody, but I know that I got my doctor set. I got everything. I'm doing the stuff I'm supposed to do.
I'm not compatible. I tried. I'm not compatible.
Hey, but it's all right. And I hopefully will be on the list soon. So I'm working on doing my stuff so I can get on the list. And so I'm just going to bang that out. But I'm getting a kidney. I'm only doing 92 more treatments.
Yeah, we told them already. We already put it out there.
92 more treatments. All right.
Where we going when you said? Where you said we were going?
Tonight?
No. After the 90.
We're going to Morocco.
Morocco. Hey, that's where we going.
Everybody's invited. Morocco.
Second best party ever.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Morocco.
We're gonna have the last great party in Morocco.
Gotta go to Morocco.
Follow up on DR. All right, so tonight we are discussing brotherhood.
Yeah.
And so as a precursor to the discussion, I just want to make sure that I want to give you guys a clear, not a definition, but the types of brotherhood that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, we're talking about biological brotherhood. So do you have a brother?
Yes.
Do you have a brother?
Yes.
Do you have a brother?
Dos.
And I have 3 brothers myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then number 2, we're talking about friends that are like brothers. Yes. So you got any friends that are like brothers?
Yeah.
Friends like our brothers?
Many of them.
Friends like brothers?
Yes, sir.
Friends like brothers. Yes. Okay, good. And then lastly, we're talking about organizations, fraternities, gangs. Are you in a gang?
What up, blood?
Gang.
I had to put gang because
okay, right,
there are dudes.
Not I.
Not you. You're not in a gang.
Not
You're in a fraternity. Right. You're in some organizations. Are there any of your organizations where you feel like you got some brotherhood going? Like you heavy in the church?
Yeah.
Yep.
Church.
Okay.
College basketball team.
Okay.
Like
some of those.
Right. You got that.
Yeah. And Indian stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Native
American.
Yeah.
And those in the gang.
I'm in the gang.
I don't want to talk about that. He's not. I'm not going to talk about it. He has on his.
Yeah. Are you in the gang?
No.
Yes, you are.
Fraternity.
They're gang.
No,
They say that.
No, not us. Not me. Anyways, so those are the types of brotherhoods we're talking about tonight. So when I ask these questions, these are the reference points that you can come from. So I like to always start off. You guys, you've been in the Manhood Tree group.
Yes.
You've been in the Manhood Tree group.
Squad.
So we always start off the group. So I've taken this stuff from the group, and we're just going to talk about it a little bit.
Let's get it.
So we start off with the opening quote, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this opening quote. So it goes like this. You earn brotherhood, the purest friendship, trust, love, whatever you want to call it, moment by moment through how you treat others. This is a quote by Doug Cooper. You earn brotherhood, the purest friendship, trust, love, whatever you want to call it, moment by moment through how you treat others. Tim, what do you think about that opening quote?
So I love this. So it's like you're building that relationship. So it's like we can start off as friends, and then through our interactions, we're building that bond, that trust, and that brotherly touch. So no matter how far we go apart, no matter how distant, no matter the years, we always gonna be one. Not blood related, but we still related.
I love it. You want to add to that, Malik?
Yeah, I think the first thing that popped in my head was 3 a.m. Right, like it's just like I'm the 3 a.m. friend.
Okay.
Right, and I think like moment by moment, you get some moments that are just very surface level. some that like kind of like the leaves, right? And then you get some moments at a tree, and then you get the deep roots, right? And I think for me, it's like things are gonna come up, and you earn the right to be in that position. And I think for me, it's like I'm the type of person, like, if something goes wrong, I'm gonna be mad that you ain't called me. Right. So it's like, not to like, how come you ain't called me though? Right. And then when you do, regardless of how inconvenient it is, I got to show up. Right. And I think because of that, people understand that, like, that builds the brotherhood.
Yes.
Because they're like, you know what? An acquaintance would have brushed me off.
Right.
Somebody who was a fair weather friend would have brushed me off, wouldn't have showed up.
I can count on you.
You can count on me.
So you want to add anything to that?
Well, all I wrote down was like life moments.
Yeah,
there for life moments and uncomfortable life moments.
Yeah,
you can give advice to them, and it's sound advice.
Right.
It's what's the word they use? It's you're like you can like it's like you can reflect things off of them. I'm trying to think of the word, but I don't remember. I can't think of the word, but. So soundboard, right?
Yeah,
so soundboard. So you can say a lot of things to them, and they understand you. They're not going to judge you,
right?
Things like that.
Yeah.
In times of when you really need them, and maybe it could be financial, could be emotional, could be physical, all those type of things.
Right.
But you're there for them, for their kids, for their family.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it feels like that's your brother, but it's like the brother you never had. You know, he does everything for. He helps you in those situations where you need help.
Right.
You generally need help. So,
yeah.
So the quote just made me think about basically all that.
One of the things I'd like to put out there to you guys, this is not on my paper, but one of the things I'd like to put out there to you is that when we're talking about brotherhood, I just want to be clear, and you can agree or disagree with me on this, that we're talking about love.
Yes.
So a lot of times with men, I don't know if we get into that realm of conversation. So when we talk about our brotherhood, when we really get deep into it, this is like a relationship with somebody that you love. And so talk to me about your response to that comment.
I would tell you this, and I'm not trying to take it anywhere, but just be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know, 2 hours ago you texted me and said, "Hey, can you come?"
Right.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out, right? And typically when you hit me, I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna come, right?
That's true. Yes.
And some of that has changed a lot since after you had the last situation with your kidney.
Wow.
Right? And that really had affected me.
Yeah.
Because I saw you in this light of, like, you were like the superhero.
Right.
You dream chasing number one.
True. He's gone.
But being able to go and, like, actually see you, like, in the hospital.
Right.
Right? I just remember telling myself, like, one, it was like, man, like, Abdul, like, I really love Abdul. Like, he really means something to me.
Appreciate that.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, but love is an action.
Yeah.
Right? You could say this all day.
Yeah.
So then it was just like, all right, but, like, you took certain things for granted that you shouldn't have.
Right.
That you could have not have, like, available to you.
Yeah.
And I knew for me it was important that, like, all right, like, I'm going to show up because he means something to me, and, like, and I love him, and, like, I want to show that love consistently.
I appreciate
especially when it's like it's inconvenient.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. This is a great show.
When I went to see you too, I remember going to see you, yo.
You
remember that?
No.
Yeah.
Yo.
No, I don't remember it. I was
the funny thing,
Yo.
the weird thing about it is when you go see there, I was like, yeah, man, they just slashed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was, and then I left, and then I was like, yeah, it was dope because we talk how we talk.
Yeah.
And then your wife was like, yeah, I don't know if you come by. Yeah, he got all psyched up. Now he wiped out. I'm like, what you mean? It was great to me, but I'm like, man, like that meant so much to him. And I used to tell my wife the same thing, like, yo, man, I love that dude, man. Home. Even though he feel that way, he want to do all these things, yo. So but you have situations and you see people like they go through things, and you don't know that you feel that way about them till something happens to them, and they kind of act accordingly, like nothing's wrong with them.
Right.
Like, we're all good. What's going on? Like, what's wrong with, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you feel that, like, oh man, I'm gonna help that person. Now we feel like it's a tighter bond. What, like you said, whether he knew it or not, you felt a bond, a stronger bond. And he was just trying to recover.
Right.
And that's how a lot of people felt that way, because you do a lot and you give to people.
Right.
So when you have friends that do a lot and then you help them and they kind of reciprocate that, and then when they're down, you can help them. You know, that I like that, because if I was down, I want to feel the same way. I want you to feel the same way about me, and I would about all of you.
Right.
If something happened to you, I feel like, I gotta go harder for Tim, man.
Right.
Like, Tim he's about it. He was always about it. So now I gotta figure a way to help him more.
Yeah.
So like that's the brotherhood in that aspect helps me. Like I'm gonna always help you.
Yeah.
If I can help you, it's not a cost, it's not a number. I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about certain people. And I can't even tell you who it is, but you just know the like, oh, that's the guy, that's the person,
right?
And that'll help. So,
Tim, you got anything you want to add?
Real quick. Do y'all recall the first or the last time you told your brother that wasn't biological, "I love you"?
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah. You told Booker that the other day.
I saw Booker the other day.
Yeah, you told Booker.
He was in my face. He was this close to me, telling me he loved me.
I love you too, Book.
I was like, Book, I love you too. Could you get further away from my face?
Yo,
Yo, for real. Yo, same thing. Book was like, I love you, man. I was like, I know, bro. I know.
He was holding me like a little baby, and I was just like, yo, Book, I love you, man. Stop. So
yeah. So it happens a lot.
Yeah,
but it doesn't though.
Yeah,
around us it does. But
yeah,
because it comes to comfortability and vulnerability at the same time.
But Booker is the one who has taught me the importance of saying I love you. He is the king of that. Like I mean, I still don't. I didn't grow up with like telling you I love you. And I always tell my story. My father, the first time he ever told me he loved me, I was going to college, and so that wasn't something I heard every day. Every time I see Booker, talk to Booker, text with Booker, he tells me he loves me. And you know who else started doing it now? Matt does it too. Yeah. I think Matt's starting to do it too.
Rubbed off.
I'll be like, "Happy birthday, Matt," and he'll be like, "I love you," and I'm like, "God damn it, I love you too, Matt." You know what I'm saying?
It's coming out everywhere.
But what I'm doing, when I'm learning from it, so I may not come up to you, Malik, but I do love you.
Right.
I do love you. I do love you. But I may not say that to you guys. But I'm doing it with my son. I'm doing it with my daughters.
There you go.
I'm bringing it like whereas I never heard it till I was 18. My kids hear it. I'm not saying all the time, but they hear it much more frequently. I hug my son a lot. You know, I never got a hug from my dad. Like I got that same day, I got a hug. Oh wow, a hug. Yeah. Then we got the 50 hug story. You know about that, right? And so, but my son.
We're telling hoodies for that, by the way.
The 50 hugs.
Remember the hoodies I showed you the photo.
Come on.
Oh, the hug photo. Yeah.
It's fire.
So, I'm taking it into my family in a way that I didn't necessarily have for myself, and I think it's a very important thing because we don't communicate that sentiment enough. You know.
I asked that because literally yesterday a friend came across my mind randomly. I hadn't spoken to him probably about 5-6 months. Right. And I was like, I'm gonna call him. So I just called him. We had a conversation, chop it up for a bit, about 5 minutes. And I love you. Same thing. I love you. So it's like just reciprocating that back and just knowing though too. Right. So some of us had that bond, whereas it can go above words or it can go beyond words as well too by acts of kindness and things like that as well too. So that's why I see what that is like. Displaying that love to our sons, to our brothers, to our friends. Yes. That it's okay to say it. It's okay to text it. It's okay to openly say it and give hugs and things like that as well too as men.
It deepens the relationship. Yeah. Like when you hear it, like I promise you, every time I hear it, it gives my heart a little pump. I promise you. When I see Book, the minute I see him, I'm like, oh man, here he goes. But it's like but I want to hear him say it to me. Yeah. And I never knew that I was that type, that I liked it, that I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like we grew up. I don't know how. I'm not gonna speak for how you guys grew up. Right. I have an assumption, but we grow up to hide that emotion, to hide that feeling, to keep to make sure we don't show too much softness because it takes away from our quote unquote manhood. But the thing is that I think it actually makes us more of a man. When we're able to express that feeling.
Yeah. Something that's interesting, we were talking about like our children too, is like my oldest, like she really likes it when I tell her also that like I like you.
Yeah, that's nice too. Yeah,
and I think it goes kind of like a kind of narrative to Denzel and Fences. Right?
Oh, yeah,
like I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that? You haven't seen the scene?
Yeah.
You want to do the scene? You want to be Denzel or the kid?
But there is a concept of like, especially from a generation before us or two, that like they showed it by doing.
Yes.
Right. And I want to make sure that they get the bad rap sometimes. I want to honor that too.
That's right.
Right.
That's
My grandfather worked third shift in Queens at JFK.
Right.
Right. For 35 years, never missed a day.
Yeah.
Right? Like that man showed it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And like in his labor and the stuff that he did and just his presence, right? Didn't have a ton of words.
Right.
But he showed it, right? And when you look back, you remember that.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that I got to build off of that. So I'm more comprehensive.
Right.
I get to see the showing, and I get to see, okay, there was a little bit of a gap that I wanted more of, but I'm supposed to be 2.0.
That's right.
And then as I think about that love and like showing the love and telling them that, it's also just like, but I like you. Like, I like spending time with you. I like hanging out. Like, my daughter now, like her bus time's a little funky, so like we get time and like in the morning to walk, or we get time to go to the coffee shop, grab her favorite drink before, and I could just drop her off at school before I get out to start my day.
Right.
And those things, like I'm able to just to speak that like man, like you were just so funny, bro. Like I really enjoy like when you say.
I told that to my daughter too. My daughter does the skits on TikTok, and it's like some of them are hilarious, and it's like when you think of like I'm kind of a chauvinist. I don't know if you guys know. But it's like seeing my daughter be hilarious, and I'm saying to myself, like, she got that from me. Like, I'm hilarious too. And we got that. And my other daughter, my middle daughter, she's hilarious too. Like, she has this thing. You know, my kids think I'm autistic. No knock on anybody that's autistic. But they like, my daughter calls me like, yo, some of the things you do, my man, it's like autism. And I'm like, yo, like you can't say that to people. You know what I'm saying? Like but it's like her being funny. And so it's like I like their sense of humor. And I feel like that's something that was given through fatherhood too. So that's a dope thing. So how has the influence of your brotherhood helped you or hurt you? And after you answer this question, I want to give you guys a conversation I had about this same question yesterday on Monday. Yesterday.
All right, how does it help me or hurt me?
Which one? Which one are you going to talk about?
I'll do hurt.
The influence. Okay. Yeah.
I'll do hurt.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, when you're
The
young,
influence.
we're all young.
Yeah.
We all want to start businesses. Man.
Right.
You want to, and no one knows this. No one knew this at this time because at the time everyone thought that they were the spirit, the one that's spearheading everything. Yeah. Right. So I have my video. I want to do video. He wants to do photos. He wants to do anything. So like you're tied into each other because you hang out with each other. You go to all the events together. Right. So like your dream, you assume your dream is their dream.
Yeah.
So you pour into them because you think their dream is your dream.
You think you got the same.
So
dream.
you pour into them. So what I'm saying is after time, that pouring turns into a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then you realize that you're pouring into a cup that has no bottom or something. Right? It's just pouring out. So you pouring into these dudes and they ain't really doing nothing.
Right.
So you've really stagnated yourself.
Wow.
Come on.
Wow.
But those are your brothers though.
Yes.
So now you have to
how do you cut them off?
Right. How do you cut them off without like cutting them off?
Wow. Yeah.
And how I found off, it's not use the word cut off, but it's not cut off. I just stayed in what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And if they're a part of it, they're a part of it. And if they're not, then they would fall off.
Right.
But that was the hardest part, pouring into something that's not ready to receive it.
Yeah.
But they're your friends.
Wow.
Because they're your boys.
Know,
you grew up.
Yeah. And you can still be brothers.
Yes.
But you just can't go into business together.
You can't.
We're not going to. If we want to go hang out and laugh.
Right. But then it's tough. It's tough. It's hard with that too because you go do that when you get older, right?
Right. Yes.
So now we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about now you're telling them about your successes.
Right.
And now to them,
you bragging.
You bragging.
Come on, son.
Come on.
Why you always talking about you bought a new mini camera?
Yeah, well, you about to buy a new mini camera for $1,000.
And you going on vacation? Come
right,
on, son.
I need $1,000. You just throwing it away. So yes, so now it's like,
It's true.
So now so that's the part of the brotherhood which gets you like when you grow up because everybody wants to build their business with their brother, man. Right. We did videos. You wanted to be with them dudes forever. I know you did. But I get like, thinking about it now. You're not like any of them except maybe Box.
Right.
Y'all work together today.
Wow.
Right. But it was like 15 of them dudes.
Yeah, we was out.
But you want to do things together. You want to do.
No,
but you don't have no guidance to be like, yo, he's wrong. You gotta go through it.
Sometimes you have to actually figure out because the influence is strong of your brothers.
Yes.
Because once again, we talk about love.
Yes.
It's like I like to do stuff with these guys so much. The influence. So we're going, and it's actually pulling me away from my dream.
Yes.
I'm so committed to this brotherhood that I'm gonna put my little dream on the hold for a little bit, so I can hang out with these guys. I'm gonna spend some more time with them, and actually, I'm actually gonna stunt my growth a little bit too. I'm on tangent night, so look, Tim, I want you to get in. What did you think? Influence or hurt you?
So I'm gonna go with it from like a combine of both because it could be a gift or a curse.
Yes.
Your loyalty to your friends, as you just said.
Yeah.
Right. So it could be a gift in the fact that you're helping someone out, but it could be a curse in the fact that that pouring into that empty cup or it's not reciprocated the same way.
Right.
Them being your brother. Yeah. So it's one of those things where you gotta look at it as like it plays a huge influence. So when you think about that too, I've always been thought to myself in life that it shows you different things. So you have like there are certain things that happen in life and circumstances that will show you true friendship, true brotherhood.
Right.
So that could be a death, a birth, a wedding.
Go ahead, keep going.
Money, coming into money, starting businesses, which is part of money, things like that. Which will show you the true test and true colors of that brotherhood, that friendship. Right. That's where it comes to that hate, love, sort of relationship sort of thing. So that's why it could be a gift or a curse, your loyalty to your friends, and because you might, again, not get that same loyalty back. Right. And that same, I've been in that predicament plenty of times where, like, you want to get that love. And he's like, man, I was expecting it that he would do something different or she would do something different. And
changes the friendship.
Yeah, it changes your friendship and how you look at certain things, That's why I said, again, the gift or the curse. In a good way, it helps you bring that bond. So if you are successful building that business, if you are there for each other during that time of tragedy or grief, it could bring that brotherhood stronger to another level. Yes,
definitely.
Yes.
What you got, Malik? What you got?
So I'm gonna go with. I mean, it's both, right? But like, if I'm leaning into the hurt right now, it's I think what helped me early on was the fact that I think when I got into sports, right? Because like I was like a knucklehead at first, and then all of a sudden there was like this idea that like I could go to college. Yeah. And I had to start trying to figure out how I was going to associate myself in the things I was doing. And I think some people make it easy, right? Because they on the block, they're around the way. But it was tough as I continued to grow, because I believe that like there is this like it's modern wisdom talks about it, but there is this lonely chapter where I'm not fitting in with the crowd I used to be with. Right, because we're not on the same page. We're on the same level of what we're looking to achieve. Right, and then I'm not fitting in with the current crowd I want to fit in with. Right, so I'm in this lonely chapter. That's deep. And I think for me, like you then have to mind your friends. Right, and I think for me it was like at first it was hard because the easy thing was to go back and minimize myself, lower my dreams, lower my goals, lower my conversations. Wow. Right, because instead of talking in rare air, like when I talk to Kings, like y'all, like it's rare air, bro. Yeah. Like right, but it's easier to lower it and dim my light. Right, but it was more in my insecurity, right, and this idea of like, man, I just don't think I belong over here yet. Right, and then as I started figuring out more about my confidence and who I was, what I understood was that I started looking for that same light in other brothers. Right. And when I found that, I found something in the gap. Yeah. Right? Like, and in that, I found other brothers like me, and it just started to build with that and started to build with them and start understanding they looking for the same thing I'm looking for. So really, I'm looking for people who looking for me. Yeah. That's right. And I think that what I had to do, which was hard, was I didn't necessarily have to kick. There was a couple I had to get kicked, but like, I didn't have to kick people off the bus. I just gave them the wrong seat. Right. And I think that was a problem with me. It's like I gave you too much priority. Now I had to sit you further back in the bus. Right. Right. And the idea is that I will always love you. Yeah. Right. But your behavior and the things that you do or don't do, right, will create distance between us. That's right. And then I had to be good with it on me. Right. And I really like, because at one, like before it was like, what success if they not with me? Right. Like what is it?
Right. You want them to be with you. It feels good.
Right. Yes.
But
they got to be a part. They got to do a part.
Sometimes they got to miss. They got to miss the show a little bit. They can't be in every show.
Yeah. And I think well, see, I had a wound right in me that said that I couldn't answer the question is, am I man enough to do it by myself? Ooh. I couldn't answer that at the time. Right.
So sometimes brotherhood could be a cop out.
Yes,
I love my brother so much that I'm gonna stay hidden. I'm gonna stay down here instead of allowing myself to rise up to the level that I could be. Oh man, that's some scary stuff.
No security. Yeah, feel secure with them all.
And I'm not sure where we're going, but I'm just want to make sure. Like I said it last time I was up in here, but I'll say it again because it's worth saying. I actually didn't know like like I built other brothers since, but like true brotherhood until like my brother Demetrius. Like that's outside my family. That's
great
like
brother,
right? That's like just like somebody where we just like that I know his intentions and intentionality for me, and like the way that he shows love to me, is and it shows up for me.
Yes,
right. It's different.
Yeah,
right.
And
that reciprocity that like I work to give is in his way of like we're always striving to be better for each other. And then for each other's families.
Definitely.
One of the things you just said, and it's like this is like the third time you said it. Brotherhood is work. So talk a little bit about that. Talk about the work that you have to put in if you're trying to have a brotherhood, if you're trying to have that connection with somebody. Talk about the work you got to put in. You want to jump in, or you want to jump in, or you want to jump in?
I jump in. So some part of the work is sometimes you got to play mediator. You know, sometimes you might have two brothers who's going at about certain circumstance or something like that, and you got to come in between them, and try to figure out, and be able to navigate it for them a lot of times. So my collection of brothers, whenever someone has a falling out, we'll all come together. So it'll be one person that call me, or I call them, like, hey, we got to get them all sit down. We got to go through X, Y, and Z, no matter what the topic is or the subject matter is. And we'll go ahead and we'll arrange that and we'll do that. So it's one of those things where it's like talking it through. To maintain it. So we want to maintain. That's one part of the work, maintaining. Malik, what you got?
So I think about I got a brother that he lives out in Boston, right? Like in the Brotherhood, and he has somebody close to him that he cared about a lot. That like we both knew this person, and like he cared about her a lot, and she passed away, right? And I knew it was gonna hit him a lot harder than it was gonna hit me,
right?
And I remember hearing about it, and we texting. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, my shorty, she's away. I'm just at the crib by myself." And then I remember, and mind you, this is like, and my wife's like, well, what you about to do? And it's like it's a work night. It's like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get in the car and shoot up there.
Right.
And she's like, but, and I'm like, I hear you.
Yeah. Right.
But it's like and it's just something that's consistent. It's like the same thing you love about me, same thing you hate about me.
Right.
I could only be me, right? And this is my guy, and I'm just gonna go up there and show up. Well, what are you gonna do? I don't know, but I'm just gonna show up. And I sat there, and we sat for hours.
Right.
And I just sat. We didn't talk. We said maybe 3 words the whole time. I got up early in the morning so I can get to work on time, like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then just peace. Love you, bro, and I'm out. Right. And he's like, it meant the world to me that you just sat there with me. Right. And I think about how important that is. That like understanding your brother and anticipating the need.
That's right.
Right. And it's just like I think about with Demetrius, and he had the shop, right? Yeah. And someone broke into the shop. Right. I went hit everybody up. Yo, can I get some money? Can I get some bread? Can I get some bread? Right. And I got the bread. Right. Yeah. And mind you, this is like early on in our friendship, and I'm just like, look, I already see what the work my brother do. Right. Right. And then I pulled up on. Hey, yo, you at the crib? All right, cool. I'm pulling up on you. Yeah. Yo, here's some money. Right. No. It's good. Like the community put it together. We good. But like, I'm gonna hold you down. Right. You don't have to ask. I already know.
Moving on it. I love it. You want to add anything, Zoe?
Nothing. They said it all.
No, there's one other thing. Because when we talk about the work, I want to talk about the work about forgiveness. So it's like because I always think about. So remember, we're talking about 3 different types of brothers. Right. And I always tell people I have a lot more forgiveness for my little brothers than I would for everybody else. They're in a special category. My little brother could pretty much do anything.
Yeah, same.
They could do anything. Yeah. Where they do some wrong stuff, and I'll probably let it go. I promise you, a couple of them owe me about 50,000 right now. At least 50,000.
50,000. Wow.
50,000. But I ain't looking for it. I actually have this thing in my head. When I give it, I already know it's gone.
Oh, yes.
It ain't gonna make it back. Yeah. Cause they ain't built the same way as like me. If you give me $1,
thinking about it,
I'm gonna give you $1 back.
Thinking about it.
I might give you 2.
Every time I see him, I'm thinking about. I'm gonna give dude money.
These
That's
dudes.
how I am. I'm like, I can't.
I hope they don't see the show because they get mad when I talk about them.
They be mad at me too. I'm like, I'm just gonna show with your brother. It's him. It's not me. Yeah. They be mad at me.
But I'm not actually looking for it because I know if they give it, great. But if they don't, I'm the big brother. Yeah. And so forgiveness is being able to say like, they don't always treat me the way that I want them to treat me.
So all right. So back to that. So so that forgiveness is different from a blood brother.
Yes.
Than a brother.
But some of my
brotherhood. Do you think it's different? How about that? Do you think it's different? I tend to think it's different. Like you said, my brothers, whatever, they could do no wrong. It's my brothers, man. It's like, yo,
there are a few people who could do some stuff, and I'll forgive them. I have some guys.
What I mean, so there's a level of it. There's a level of brotherhood.
But there's also what I actually was thinking about today. This is today. There are people who I know are better brothers to me than people that might say that they're better.
Oh
brothers.
yeah.
So there's some people that talk the brotherhood.
There's some people that want to be in your brotherhood, but you keep shunning them away. Like, chill, man. They trying to get in so bad. It's like, no, man. They're doing all this extra stuff. Like, man, you're brotherhood material. It's like, nah, man, leave me alone.
You're hanging out with the dude that they don't show you the love.
Yeah.
And so, but it's because
you don't have wait. You don't have his seat, man. You're giving him the wrong seat.
You're giving him the wrong seat,
man. He got that nice
just
seat.
Just because they've been around a long time.
Put him in the back. You gotta be in the back, man.
Yeah. I think it's tough because I hear you. Like, I think I'm always going to forgive my brothers, or to that point, I like Thanksgiving to taste the same, right? I like the turkey to taste the same.
Right.
So when we meet up, like, I don't want to have nothing in my heart.
Yeah.
So one, I have a whole family, so I'm not giving more than I can.
Right.
Like, look, bro, I love you.
Yeah.
But the problem that I have, at least for me, with my brothers, is like my biological brothers, is that I'm holding you to my standard.
Right.
Right. Because like I'm the big brother. Right.
Yeah.
So like you're mine. So so you gonna pay me back. Right. Like we gonna be there's one thing for sure, two things for certain. Right.
Yeah.
You gonna because you gonna figure it out because I'm invested in the type of man that you are.
Right.
Because I see the type of man that I am,
and
you are a reflection of that.
Right.
Right. You might be 30, 35. You might be, but I am. But like I also help. Like I feel like I help raise them.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it's an indicate. Like I'm also like kind of like dad.
Yeah.
So it's like it's an indictment on me, kind of like that's how, at least that's how I feel. Right.
Yeah.
But I know what, like, with whether it's like my cousins, whether it's my close friends, especially when it comes to like. So for me, it's not money, it's respect.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, so an example is like, if I can't make money with you, we not in the brotherhood.
Right.
Like if I can't, because the idea is that I would never put you in a position that I don't think you're great at.
Yeah.
And then that means that like I can't trust you with money then.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can't trust you to show up for me.
Right.
That all business does is escalate the relationship.
Right.
So instead of waiting 10 years to figure out that you ain't nothing, I'm just going to figure out in 10 months.
Real quick,
because you can't hide the mask when we close in proximity,
right?
Like we in business,
right?
Yeah. So like me and Demetrius, like we flipping houses, like
right.
I'm gonna know, like he gonna know, I'm gonna know,
right? You'll know what he doing,
right? And what you made out of, because the pressure come,
right?
It's like this didn't go this way, or you point, like we still locked in,
yeah,
right? And it's like it's the same for me. It's the same thing, but my thing is like once again, I'll always love you,
yeah.
But your behavior might create like the proximity might change between us.
I feel. What's that mean? Here, I don't care, Zoe. Don't turn off my mic. I'm gonna talk all night. I'll talk all night. I only answered 2 questions. We gonna talk all night, my boy. Listen, one of the things I wanted to say to y'all though. So you know, I did the Manhood Tree group in prison yesterday, Cheshire. So we did the Brotherhood session.
You're in prison?
I go to the prison, right? And so one of the things about this session, when we ask that question, how has the influence of your brotherhood helped you or hurt you? So there's 5 people in my group, I think, and all of them basically they talk about how their brotherhood is why they're in prison right now.
Yes, makes sense though.
Talk it.
And so imagine talking about that, like where you say, because we first talked about like so. The influence of your brother, well, it's because, and then I had to emphasize, I go back to the love, because they would have never, I don't know if they would have said that outright. They would have said, the reason why I'm in jail right now is because I loved my friend so much.
Right.
I loved him so much that I decided to do an act that wasn't even in my nature. Mm-hmm. But in that moment, my love for them was so strong. It was greater than the love for myself even.
Talk it.
Like, and so when I'm in the prison, I love doing the group there because they're at the point, they've already been in prison. The guys I work with, they've already been in jail 20 plus. Mm-hmm. So they ain't got nothing to hide no more. They done hiding. They done all, and they're able to tell you the truth. And so I just wanted to go back and just say, just think about loving somebody so much that you do something that is out of your nature and causes you to end up having, 30 to life.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm throwing out there, like, so shout outs to Passion Good Drive, Live Your Dreams, Not Your Fears, the book, go get it.
Yes.
But chapter 3, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 3 of the book is me talking about, like, my man, we called him D-Time, like, him calling me and him being in Willamette, get the Knights of Columbus, one way in, one way out. Right. And that's right next to Ivy Garden. Like, he got static. Yeah. And he like, you gotta come through. Right. So I come through with the homies, and then it's my first time holding the blicky, and I'm like, all right, something gonna happen, but I'm pumping Kool-Aid. Yeah. But what I know is that in my mind, I'm following a code. I gotta show up. Right. And you already called these dudes, and you on your way. Yes. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I'm going with this like kind of mob mentality. Yeah. And this idea of some like, and I'm bumping DMX on the way in. Right. Right. Like I'm following what I saw. Right. On like TV. Right. Right. Yeah. It's right. It's in the Get Rich or Die Trying era. Like it's like we about to, and I pull up on some BS. Yes. And now all of a sudden I'm flashing the piece. He's flashing the piece. People shooting now. Right. Right. And I could have died. You could have died. Or you could have killed somebody. And I could have killed some. This is my thing. Is like, and I could have killed. But one night, because the gun's already out. And we dip out, and we in front of the gas station joint. We get pulled over, and I remember like that was the moment where I was like, you praying, I'm crying, like I done kicked the gun under the seat, right? And I'm just sitting there. But what I'm saying to my point, every time I bring it up, is that like I'm just like, if I get out of this, moving forward, like I will never, because like I had just started, like I was on the ball team. I was like, all right, I'm just making a change to like be the first one in my family, right? But I still got the stuff on my ribs, right? Yeah, I still got the hood with me, right? I still got the mentality, yes. And that was like that was the thing that cut it off, right? Okay. Anybody else? Has anybody else been in a situation that could have put their life on a totally different trajectory?
Yeah. So we had one night of and many moons ago of partying with the friends. Yeah. And we got into a little something. Yeah. A little bit of trouble, right? Right. So I learned that night that how you speak of levels, I learned that friendship comes in levels and brotherhood comes in levels. That's right. Of what you would do with certain people, like spending money and things like that. So I learned this with law. So when it comes to dealing with the law, on who, back then we had that, no snitching, was famous. Yeah.
Cats was snitching.
And and
you kept the code.
First 48.
They got in the room, they let it go.
Brought them some fries, it was over.
Yeah. Number two.
So I remember talking to the cops after this ordeal had happened. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. And they went to go talk to them, came back. They're like, yeah, so we know the whole thing. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I remember, like, I to this day, I don't know who, how, what, but I just know, or whether it was the tactic, I don't know. But I know that I held it down, and I can figure, so things like
somebody
that.
Gave it up.
And it could have easily, he was like, yeah, I could take you in if I wanted to right now, things like that. So it could have easily changed certain things.
And the thing about that is that these guys that I work with, it wasn't like they only had one situation. Because they, when you're deep into that world, you kind of like make, it's like 10 situations. But the problem with it is that they never get a chance. They had to grow up in jail. They didn't get a chance to make a couple of mistakes. Somebody get them and say like, yo, man, you need to change your life or do something different. They unfortunately had to deal with the repercussion of their love, of their brotherhood, of their choices. And so, and sometimes it is, at the end of the day, it's always one incident. It's the incident you get caught. It's the incident that, that somebody gets hurt and you have to deal with it. And I feel like too many of us, and this is important for the people that are listening, too many of us put ourselves in these situations where that one incident could change our entire lives. And I think that, one of the things that all of us are fortunate about is that we're grown men. And I think that when you talk about those teenage years, young adult years, when that testosterone in you is a lot higher and your brain's not fully developed and you were just making decisions without thinking, I think that during those times we need more men to tell their stories, to reach out to the young boys, because they think they're invincible. They think that they're never going to get in trouble. They think all these crazy things, but then when you go up to Cheshire The place is packed. It's packed with dudes from Hartford that you ain't seen in a long time. They were up there. And they're there for the rest of their life. And I seen, like, it's crazy because in my group, I've had guys that have been up there for 50 years. Imagine somebody that was out here 50 years ago, and then one day he just disappeared, and he's been up there for the rest of that time.
Wow.
50 years.
Yeah.
And so I was, and sometimes I'm just like, when I used to see the guy in my group, I used to bug out a little bit because I was like, yo, I'm 50.
Come on.
And so think of everything I've done in my life.
Yep.
And my whole life, he's been in there. Doing what they do in there. This guy happened to be, he was illiterate. So like, think about, he took 50 years and never learned how to read a book. And so it's just, it was just a crazy thought to say, like, don't let your life end up in there because of misunderstanding your brotherhood.
But what's interesting too is that I've been in the mix of a couple things where when I think about brotherhood, where some OGs or a brother that was maybe doing wrong, was steering me right.
All right. Okay.
Right. So in Norwich, you got a spot called Greenville. Right. Greenville's kind of like, you would say, like,
gonna check that prostate. I need you to get your PSA check because that's your second bathroom break. No, it ain't the first one. I'm watching you. You know I'm watching you. Yeah, no. I don't gotta pay attention to him.
You got to.
Yeah.
Okay. But I would say that we was balling out there, and then we was on some we had a thing called green light, right? So if like we have a problem with somebody, we go on green light, we gonna jump them, right? So we thinking we on some like kid stuff, and I had drove there, and I remember we were gonna go down to we called him Mike, right? Mike's house on 4th Street,
right?
And so I go down that way, and I drop off some people, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to pull up, because I knew Mike when he used to live near me on the other side of town, and Mike come out, and he like, yo, what's up? I'm like, yo, I'm about to come through. Now, mind you, this is like the crack house. This is like the set, like, you get all types of stuff.
Right.
But, like, it's popping all the time. And mind you, sometimes I'm not able to be outside like that because my mom's was on me.
Yeah.
But I'm outside now, right? I'm like, yo, I'm about to see what's... And he like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Like, yo, look, you know, and he's like, yo, you know I got love for you, but, like, you ain't supposed to be up here.
Right.
Right? And I'm trying to tell you is that he talks about my boy Box. Me and Box dead, right? So Box like, I'm a roll with you. We good. So
right.
he leave his cousin. He leave a couple of the homies. That, like, you can look it up. That same day, they wind up killing somebody.
Wow.
Right? One of the crackers tried to write a check or something like that. They started beating him up. It was something wild.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, someone came and hit homeboy, and he wound up dying.
Right.
Dudes wound up doing a bunch of jail time.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is like 3-4 hours later, but, like, I could have been at the crib,
could have been
right?
There. You could have been up there.
But then you think about the venom, though, when your man's, like, does die.
Yeah.
Right? So 2 summers when I was 13, 14, I lived in New Haven with my cousin, right? And we were off of Dixwell near Jackie Robinson. And so we just be running the streets.
Right.
And we used to play a bunch of basketball, play AAU, but that was, like, the only thing that has going. And we had to do Little Man. He used to wear number 12.
Right.
And I used to write his name and all that on my sneakers because he got killed.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's like... And when he got killed, right, the idea though was like, like I spent 2 summers with this dude. Like this is like my guy. Like we ain't got nothing. We put money together. We got the my uncle didn't trust the guy that was renting the room from him, so we had to rent money in our lugs. Like we just like hood dudes just running around, kids.
Yeah.
But like we had this bond, and when he was killed, it was just like, yo, we know who it is. And it's like, you just got this venom, and I'm like 14, and I'm just angry.
Right.
I'm not even built like that.
Right.
But like, I'm angry. I'm like, yo, I'm down this, like, right? And it's just like, it's the OGs that were like, nah, like, that's not for you, little man.
That's right.
That same type of, also that type of level of brotherhood too.
Yeah, that's important. What's the most significant thing about your brotherhood relationships that you can discuss? What is something that's significant that you would like to put out there about your brotherhood relationships?
Something significant.
Yeah. Something significant. Or even better. Okay, skip that one. Maybe that one's a hard one. What have you invested or sacrificed for your brotherhood?
Invested
or sacrificed?
It's
kind of similar to my first question.
I would say both.
Invested and sacrificed. I'm just saying them out loud so you can hear them,
No, I mean, I was just talking, so that's what I wanted to give.
No,
talk some more.
Well, yeah, I feel like I've definitely invested time, invested energy because you got to give energy, invested love,
right?
Because you got to reciprocate something into our brotherhood, as well too. I'm like one of the ones who likes to plan stuff out, like, hey, let's go to here, let's go there, and then like to fill things out between the brothers. So I think I've definitely invested in the brotherhood.
They're like, so our brotherhood, I've invested a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Right. So
Me too. I have to show up and do all this work.
Right. Hey, listen. So I do invest in it.
Yeah.
A lot. So things that I guess I deem worth it. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So I do invest a lot. So like, if you had something going on, I would invest in it. I would, like if you have an idea, like then I'm all in. Yeah. So it all. So I do invest a lot in. Was that the question?
Yeah. Invested or sack. It's when I'm trying to lock into is the difference between the two, right?
No, I invest a lot.
Yeah.
The reason why why do I invest a lot? Because I feel as if like you're gonna do whatever you do without me.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna do whatever you do without me.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
No. Like
you know what? I would find somebody eventually.
Right. No, you'll be. What I'm saying is, you're gonna be Abdul.
I'm gonna be Abdul without you.
Right.
Yes.
Without me, you're gonna be Malik. You're gonna try to find something out.
Yeah.
Tim, you're gonna be without me. So me adding to me in my head,
just adds to it.
Just makes it better.
Yes, it does.
Could it be a perspective thing though? Could it be just how you view it?
Well, no. Yeah. So yes.
Because we could do the same action and you could think of it one way. I could think of it different ways.
I think about it where I'm like, I remember like, shout out to my brother Brandon Frame, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember when he did the first Black Man Can't Institute in Hartford.
Yeah.
Right?
I was there.
And right? Yep. And then so since then, right, I've been traveling around with him and for I would say, so let's say that was 12 years. Mm-hmm. Right? For 10 of those 12 years, I've been paying to hang out with him.
Right.
Like I've been fitting the bill, or I've been helping pay the bill with him,
right?
Or like, cause at those times I was just making more money than he was, so I was like, hey, I'm gonna help out, or right. But like, I'm investing my time, effort. I'm showing up, taking pictures. Right. We traveling, and like, I'm just like, look, I want to see your dream a reality,
right?
And it's not a sacrifice,
right?
It's an investment, right? And it's like because I love you,
yes,
right. And mind you, this might never change,
yeah.
Right, and also like I love the mission, right, and but at the end of the day, it's because I love you, right.
It did change,
and then things did change, right, and now, right, like, and now to see the fruits of that,
right,
but also to see that like when he got something going on, I'm one of the first calls,
yeah,
right, and but that's his way of like, yo, like I seen that you invested in me,
right.
Let me give you some dividends on that,
I love it. Yeah,
and the dopest part about it is that what's understood doesn't have to be explained,
yeah, so if you could give one thing to your brothers, not material or financial, what would it be? I'm gonna come to you. Which brothers you're talking about? If you could give one thing to your brothers, not material or financial, what would it be? This is a good one.
That is a good one. What would I give to my brothers?
Yeah.
Not financial, not financial.
You can't give them no money, and you can't give them nothing material. What would you give them? Malik, I'm gonna come to you. I know you got an answer already.
He ready.
He's
nah,
Go ahead, Malik.
What would I give to my brothers? I would give peace.
Peace. Okay.
Right? Like, I think that we deal with so much inside that we don't show on the outside. Yeah. That we're not willing to give or be vulnerable enough to give. And that there's so much that's killing us. And we fighting this battle, right? We're fighting it emotionally, spiritually, and we really feel like we can't go to nobody.
Right.
And too many times I'm like, yo, how you doing? And it's like, oh, I'm good. And it's like, but you're not good. And it's okay not being okay. And like, you gotta let me like lay out your burden so I can hold you down.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And if I could give you anything, it would just be the peace, and understanding that like, to trust the process.
Yeah. Trust the process.
To know that everything's gonna be all right. Right. And that and that's gonna be, it's gonna be over.
Right. Tim, what would you give your brothers? And wait, which brothers were you talking about?
It's really like my biological and my people.
Okay.
I would say wisdom and courage. The wisdom and knowledge to be able to obtain information to be the best man and brother that you can be. Mm-hmm. and also the courage to be able to go after your dreams and chase whatever it may be that you want, that passion, that thrill.
Yes.
And be able to see that through, that courage to be able to be vulnerable and be able to seek out therapy or seek out those things that could make you vulnerable and make you stronger at the same time as well too. So wisdom, and that's why I give.
Which brothers are you talking about?
And all of my brothers.
All of your brothers.
All of my brothers.
What you got, Bill?
Wisdom and courage.
All right. Yeah, I'm talking about both of my brothers too.
Yeah.
All right. So it's kind of the same thing that they're saying, but self-reflection.
Yeah.
And like self-evaluation. Because a lot of people talk about what they want to do.
Yeah.
They're never actually doing it. Someone ask the question, like, the manhood tree, like, the pop, what are you doing? What is it? I'm like, and I said to them, and I was like, well, basically it is like, if you say, we're talking through the whole 10 steps of boyhood, manhood, all those things. So you're telling me you want a man to be this way, but you're not that way.
Right.
So basically it's kind of like holding you accountable for like the man you said you want to be, or the man you, not my idea, it's the idea you come up with of a man, and then you look back at it and be like, hey, that's not even me.
Right.
So that's basically what this is. So it's like I would give them like self-reflection, like, so what do you want to be? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And how do you? And then if you can't find those, that's the brothers. Like, so if you can't really look at yourself that way, have someone else that you trust. Like, yo, what do you think about me? Man? Like, am I a good dad, man?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, so you need self-reflection, self-evaluation through yourself and through your brothers, y'all biological or not.
What I would give my brothers, I would give them freedom. One of my greatest dreams for myself is to be free, and actually I want to be free from financial, like worrying about finances. I want to be free from being materialistic. So those are the top things where. Like, and it's not to say I don't want money or anything. It's just I don't have to worry. I'm not thinking about it. I want that like whole worry out of their minds, and then I want them to be free to do. Like, imagine if you could get up every day and actually do what you really want to do. Not to say you could do nothing, because some people would probably do nothing. But to get up in the morning and say, I want to go and do a podcast today.
Right.
And be able to do those things. I would like them to be able to find their purpose in this world. Like, why were you? I always tell people, like, I get so excited about this because it's like, imagine that you were born not to do nothing.
Come on.
It's like, it's impossible, right?
It is.
You had to go through all the stuff to be born because you have a purpose. And so imagine if you could actually find that purpose and live it and do it. And be it. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be a millionaire. I'm not saying that. But they're finding their true purpose in this world. And the crazy thing about purpose that's so great is that it could be one day on one moment at one time that you were supposed to do one thing that changes the whole world.
Right.
And people never think about their life like that. I think that's how I think about my life. Like, I'm here for something.
Right.
I don't know if I've done it yet. But I'm getting up every day. And I want them to be able to have that same feeling.
This the day.
I want all of y'all to have that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy. Imagine if you all like lived your purpose. You knew what you were here for. You were doing it, and you had the freedom of mind to not be like held back. You can just go and do it.
If I could just ask something real quick, it made me think about one of my brothers and then a couple others, but like in the Brotherhood that. If I could give something, it really would be like the idea that they would not take on someone's identity of what manhood is, and that they would go and find for themselves true manhood and be able to develop that. And a large portion to me that helped me along my manhood is that to find them a woman that they can spend the rest of their life with.
I love it.
Because I can tell you that I got some brothers that like are still 35, 38, 40, 45 and still running around. And I had a conversation not too long ago, and it was like, he's like, well, when we go out, when we do this, like, you know, we're going to be running the town and we're going to be, and it's like, fam, like, I think we got something wrong and I just have to address it. I think you think that I'm losing.
Right.
Like, I think that you think that, like, when you are out chasing a bunch of women, that, like, like I'm losing, like
I'm missing out.
That I feel like I have FOMO or something, right? Right, and it's like no, like I just gotta be real with you. And I'm trying to be honest. Is that like actually I feel sorry for you,
right?
Right, because like I know how lonely you are.
Yeah.
I know what it is that you're chasing. I know where you're operating out of in that trauma.
Right.
Right, and that idea that you want to chase but not catch.
Right.
Right. You want the challenge, right, but you don't want the commitment.
Yeah.
Right, and there's a leveling up of manhood in that.
Right.
Right, and how important that is. And I think for me is if I could give him and other ones like that idea of like you don't know what it is for a woman to come and upgrade you.
That's right.
Right, for someone to come and not complete you but compliment you.
Right.
Right, and then with that, what the opportunity gives you to grow into the man that you need to be and that you're maturing into, and then be able to build to what you talked about earlier, to build that legacy.
Yeah.
To build with somebody for so long that like you kind of finish each other's sentences, right?
Yeah.
You can anticipate and you have seen their growth, right? But like. And how that affects you and gives you, maybe going back to what I said earlier, and it gives you peace.
Yes, I love it. Well, one of the things that I think is like so powerful. We're talking about brotherhood, but you just made me think about my wife.
Yeah, me too.
And you know what I'm saying?
Me too.
And it's crazy because
you three.
It's crazy because when you have a good wife. Mm-hmm. They become one of your boys too.
Yeah, for sure.
She's my number one boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to lie.
What up? I'm like, what up, though, baby? She be like, don't talk to me like that.
I say to her, my boy, what's up, my boy? That's how I talk to my wife. My wife is my number one because it's like when you have that, like I always tell people, I see my wife more than the average person. We work together all day. Mm-hmm. And my wife, over this, we've been in business 20 years. So, and I was talking to her the other day, reminding her, when I first started my people, I did not want her to be around. Mm. Like, I used to be like, yo, stay at home, man. Well, I don't need you at the office. Right. Like, what are you going to do at the office? I used to say stuff like that. Like, what are you going to do? Fuck, man. Now I be in the office like, yo, you got a couple minutes for me? Could I come in your office and talk to you about something? Cause she brings so much to the table. Yeah. Mm. She's so like one of the things today we were in a meeting. It was me, her sister, and our director of operations. Mm. And the sister, Sherelle, was complaining about how like one of her staff, she might be listening. But she was saying how she was upset because she didn't move fast enough. Mm-hmm. Like, it's because we do certain, like, the way we operate, the way our minds operate is like, when it's like, we're on my people time. Mm-hmm. But some people come to work and they on like, yo, I'm just going to do it when I get to it. And it's like, yo, we got to get to it right now. And that's so all of us think like that. It's like, and so I think it's just a beautiful thing. I appreciate you bringing up. Yeah, man. It's a very high level of brotherhood with my wife.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Yeah. I love my wife too, man. I don't even know what to say. But yeah, same thing.
They do.
She supports me to death, man.
What's the difference between the brotherhood you sought out when you were young compared to now? So if you think about when you were young, how you got your brotherhood, and how you developed it, and if you were to create new brotherhood today, or you were seeking out brotherhood now, what would be the difference in that? I'm gonna come to you. Go ahead.
No. I think it's funny you said it's almost like that clip he put up.
What did you say?
When he was talking about when you get in a relationship. Yo, you cut it out.
Yeah. He ain't listening.
Come on, almost chime in, man. Listen. No, but he says like when you get in a relationship, you should have like 5 things that you're not compromising about, right? So like friendship should be the same way. Like certain things I'm not doing. Right? Like you said, like your friend, like certain things I'm not doing. So that's gonna like dictate our friendship. Like I'm not the type of guy to go out to the clubs all the time anymore. I used to, but I don't do that anymore. There's no point in it for me. Mm-hmm. Like I'm more of like let's go to a brewery and we talk about business and stuff, and then a couple of drinks, I go home. Yeah. And it's still nice outside, and nothing's not late night or nothing. Right. So that's the type of person I am. So if you're different than that, it's probably hard for me to communicate with you, for us to like to hang out. Right. If you don't like to go sit down, have a little bite to eat for like a brunch and just talk business, that's that for us. Yeah. If you want to go out to the club later and we hang out, I don't do that anymore.
Not meeting up at the club.
Right. So like that's how it changed and like who I deal with. So And people respect that because some people don't do one or the other.
Yeah.
So it's easy like to kind of to get those kind of weed those people out.
Yeah. Tim, what you got?
So it would be different. So, my first Brotherhood I came into was built off of neighborhood, built off of where we resided at.
Interesting. Yeah. You just walked outside and they were there.
Those your boys.
Yeah, just there we hang out and then you just build that brotherly bond.
Right.
Some of them. What would change today, seeking out a brotherhood for me would probably be aligning. A lot of things have changed from being that age to now, but aligning the visions more so. Like business and family and life. Like we on the same kind of pedestal. We on the same kind of trajectory.
Right.
When it comes to certain things, just aligning our visions. So more so, just seeking out the brotherhood that will be beneficial for us all. Us both. It's something mutual.
Yeah,
I like it.
I would say for me now that the application changed.
Yeah.
Right? Before you can get in with a GED. Right? Now just being real, it's like, it's graduate level.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just being real because I think at that time I didn't know who I was, so I was trying to fit in with other people.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to like me and wanted people to accept me. And so then I was acting in the mode in which people would act like in that group, right? And I was more like, I had like this kind of chameleon vibe, right? And I think for me, it was just from like living in different worlds.
Right.
So like, I would just change who I was to adapt. And I think, I know now it's just different. And then also and I don't separate what you say from what you do, right? So character is important,
right,
through and through. Like if you're not a good father,
most of my friends. That's what I told my wife. Like, I realize that most of my friends are great dads.
Yeah,
because it's hard. It's hard. No, it's hard to. The way you if you're in a certain position, it's hard for you to hang out with that's your boy, but it's hard if he's a bad dad. It's hard to hang
and
with
you. Come on the manhood tree every week talking about
right. It's so hard to hang with you.
It's like, this is my buddy.
No, you can't. Guy? Right. So it makes you do that.
But it's also you're not going to be friends with me,
right?
Because I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta get it together.
So I got people who are family who are now more relatives than family, right? Like I think one of my cousins, Alon, coming to that house and he got holes in the wall. Right? I'm like, when you do that, I did that like a couple months ago. Wait a minute, so you punched a hole in the wall, and you see that's intimidation, right? Mind you, I used to be a domestic violence counselor,
right?
So I know what that is. You leave it there on purpose, right? Because you want to intimidate, right? That's what you are. That's what we doing. That's the energy we are, right? And it's like, nah, we good, right? We once again proximity, right? And I think when I think about like understanding who I am and then knowing that like, yo, I gotta have loyalty and trust. I only want these things with I'm with when I call Abdul, right? And I call and we talk.
An hour's going by the way.
Right. That's
at least an hour. If he calls, it's an hour.
Easy.
I thought it was gonna be 10 minutes. So 10 minutes? No, it's an hour.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact, right? And here's the thing is, and I know because Ab loves me, he listens to me.
I like talking to you.
Right. And we get excited, we build on something, right? And I think that part of being able to build with somebody, that part of when he tells me he's doing something and I'm excited about it, right? Like as if I'm doing it and I want to promote it or be a part of it, yo, how can I assist? How can I help? And then and then it's the vice versa, right? And it's those things for me makes people I want to be around force multipliers.
Right. I like that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that obviously, I think all of us are different. I think the point you made about proximity initially, neighborhood, you walk outside, these are the guys I want to be, I'm around them already, these are my brothers.
Yeah.
That's the first level. But then as you get older, you start saying, even some of my best friends right now, I don't know if they could be my friend, my brother today. If they met me today, right now, today, they probably would, they probably come to my office and I'd be like, get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying.
You guys know some of my friends. They wouldn't. They wouldn't be able to be. I wouldn't talk to them because it just wouldn't compute. But because we have a shared history, the Brotherhood is long. It's long, and so because we had that they actually, the great thing about them is they unlock. There's a door that I can go through with them that because they've known me for 30 years. I can resort to sometimes you might see a version of me you never seen.
No.
Right?
Yes.
But it's only gonna go to a certain point.
Got you.
That's my limit. But so I think that we have higher expectations now. We want more from our brotherhood. We want to talk to people about the things that are exciting and interesting to us. I mean, this whole platform is about talking about stuff at a deeper level.
Yeah.
And if I can't have a deep conversation with you, I don't really want to. We can't get to brotherhood because I just feel like, you know. So and there's some people like that. You talk to them and you talking and they like, it's not going.
It's almost not even that. It's like you have a conversation with someone, you can't like agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Like we could be whatever, but
it's an argument,
right?
It's like we talking about something.
Right.
We got to argue about
right.
it instead of it being like, no, this is your point of view.
right.
This is my
point of view. That's
it's
it.
Okay.
That's
we
don't have to argue. It's like you feel that way. I feel that. I kind of understand what you're saying, but I don't. I like my opinion better, but cool. Right?
Yeah.
But cool, right? We could be cool. But now sometimes that's hard as well. So you need someone to be able to bounce things off of and have a knowledgeable reaction to you. It's not something that, you know, they trying to create a fight or something out of it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm coming right back to you. This is we got the last two questions here.
Yep.
Where is your brotherhood taking you?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's taking me to amazing places because now I'm older and I know who is really my brother. I know what the definition of it is.
Yeah.
We just talked about it today, so I know what the definition of it is. They should care for me like I care for them. They should want for me like I want for them.
Yeah.
If I'm telling them I'm doing great, they should feel as great as I feel.
Right.
And vice versa. When
it.
they call me, I should want to talk to them. There's no like nothing.
Looking at your phone like, God damn it.
There's none of that. It's none of that. It's like, and everything he says, and you are, and you say, you say and do what you tell me.
Yeah.
Most of the brothers I deal with, they say we're gonna do it's gonna. Most of the times you're excited about what he tells you because you know it's gonna be done from beginning to end. You know it's gonna happen, so you're excited about the whole process. And at the end, when like even the last thing we did with the Black Bear thing, like from beginning to end, you knew something was gonna happen. Yeah. You knew it.
You did.
Right, like you knew it. You knew something special was going to happen at the end. Right, but you knew that. So like when you deal with your brothers, the people that you deal with, I expect that, like, if he's like, yo, I want to, you hit me all the time for those things. I know you, but I know something special is going to happen from it because it's him.
Right.
I know it because it's you.
Yeah.
Because it's you.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people that I deal with, that's why my brother, I don't deal with nobody that don't know it. They don't know themselves.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They don't know what they're capable of. They're like, I think I can do this. Nah, everybody I deal with know exactly. They know exactly they can do it.
We don't do try.
Right.
You want to do it, you either going to do it. I almost put your dream chasing on them. I was like, yo, we be talking about you going to try, man.
And that's what I like about my brother is that everyone's going to do what exactly it is that
he was
they
like,
do.
I want to try to be a rapper. I was like,
nah, yo, rap. People tell us that. Remember we used to have the community spots like, I rap. Like, go ahead, rap.
Do it.
Do it right now. You do poetry, go ahead, do it.
A one. A two.
We like, right now.
Where's your brotherhood taking you?
I think my brotherhood's taking me to a level of finding myself more, mentally, emotionally, and then also career-wise, just striving for the best for my family. So I think it's taking me to another level of just manhood more so.
I like it.
Grandfather.
Your grandfather?
Can you see that? Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that.
My son turned 6 today.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You got some time.
I saw that.
You need to get one of these.
I saw that.
You got to get one of these now.
Not enough. As soon as the baby come, we good.
It'll just come up the next day. Where's your brotherhood taking you, Malik?
Man, I would say just taking me to a higher level of manhood. I think with brotherhood is just like iron sharpens iron, right? So like when you have that iron, right, you gotta understand like when it's being sharpened, there's pieces of that iron that's getting nicked off. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, it has exposed me to have to like be better, right? And search to be like you just don't walk into being comfortable. Like I had to be comfortable with the understanding of who I was, and once I was, I could be a better brother to somebody else. Because I had to want what I want, I had to be that. Right. Yeah. So if I want somebody to be like trustworthy and loyal, I got to be that.
That's right.
And then I got to make sure that if I have insecurities, that like I'm able to deal with that, and then also go to my brother with it. But I think the insecurities mostly for me was like if I saw something, right? Like you ever have somebody like you with somebody and they'll let you spend the whole half. I tell you.
Hopefully not.
I tell people immediately.
It's important.
Like,
yeah.
Right. He's like, what you doing? No one's told you that all day, bro? Like, you look crazy. I do that.
Because there's something about, like if that was me,
right.
I would want somebody.
Yes.
So, but when you do that in life, right?
Right.
When you do that with somebody, like, yo, you know what? The way that you approach wifey real quick when I was at the crib, like, man. Yeah. Now I know where I'm treading at, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take what comes with it, but like to be your man, I gotta say something to that, right? To be like, hey, you know what, like. your son's out here acting the fool.
Right.
And I know you got the games on.
Yeah.
Right. But fam, like I just gotta be real with you.
Out there.
Right. And I just think that like those things have like forced me to be able to also have to accept that.
Yeah.
Right. So I had to accept.
You get the phone call, you got to take it too.
That's what I'm saying, and then be able to be like, I'll say, okay, like not just be able to deliver it, but like to accept it. So I think like this deepening that level of manhood.
One of the things I think one of the things that where my brotherhood has taken me is really thinking about how we're doing like life together. Like it's taking me to that realization that some of my brothers, like my biological brothers, some of my friends, some of my new friends, I was once a young man, and I think about like being an old man, having these relationships, still maintaining them, and having these conversations, and I think, and that to me, it's a beautiful thing to be able to kind of like go through life, go through different phases. You could always talk about the good old days, but like right now, we're talking about trying to prosper and trying to, talking about our kids in college. Like, I just want to shout out my boy Dave right now. I always like that dude, I'm very proud of him. He has 2 kids in college right now.
Mr. Detroit?
Mr. Detroit.
Detroit, stand up.
He got 2 kids. Two kids in college right now.
Still growing his hair.
Got his dreadlocks. But it's a
no days off November coming up.
It's coming. Oh my God. It is. But my point. But think about the consistency of that.
Yes. You
know what I'm saying?
I know it.
He does it.
I tell people all the time. He does it for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
No days off, and he works out for the whole month. He does it all the time.
And then I call. I call him throughout the month. He's like, "Yo, my body is hurting today," and I'm like, day. "I don't care.
No days.
Click.
You see, no days.
But I wanted to say like to have 2 kids. I'm about to have 2 kids in college next year.
HBCUs too. They both
for HBCUs. One Jackson State. One I can't remember the other one. His son's at somewhere. I can't remember. But that's a lot for a man.
That's amazing.
And sometimes you got to call and just
that is amazing.
And he makes it look easy. And so I just want to just throw that out. All right. So before we go, what advice, Malik? I'm coming to you first. What advice would you give men that would like to be good brothers? That want to increase their brotherhood. That want to empower their brotherhood. They want to make their brotherhood extend and be better. What advice would you give them on the way out tonight?
Well, I would say, number one, what we know is that it's not good for men to be alone. And I know too many brothers that are have gotten used to either being alone or used to their wife being their only friend.
Wow.
Right? And what we know is that you need brotherhood, because then if that relationship is rocky or any point or something like that, who do you go to? And I want to be clear with that, because I knew for so long I was dealing with stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm also dealing with stuff for my wife. And I'm like, well, who do I go to? Right? Your cup is overflowing, and I'm trying to catch that. Right. And then and then now I'm overflowing, but who do I go to? And it's like, nah, you need to go to your brothers.
That's right.
Your brothers are people you can go to with your problems, but you have to be able, like, brotherhood is a thing that's going to allow you to trust your brothers, but you have to be trust them to show up. That's right. You have to trust them to be vulnerable, to trust them to be like, hey, you're going to be there for me.
Right.
And I think that's extremely, extremely important when it comes to brotherhood, but like that also is what's going to build you to understand that, guess what? Now you don't have maybe 100 brothers.
That's right. That's
like
right.
When you go to New York, you're going to see some pigeons.
Yes.
Right? But the idea is that you're looking for an eagle.
That's right.
Right? And you're going to find that out. So my thing is that sometimes that we've been missing brotherhood for so long.
Yeah.
Make sure you still have your qualifications, right? And you take your time. And then as you slow release, right, and that trust and that understanding and that vulnerability, that you then can build it. But you have to build it, and you build it brick by brick.
I love it. So what you got? What advice?
First of all, got to start a new hashtag.
What is it?
Seek Malik, man.
Seek Malik.
We gotta seek.
Hashtag.
We gotta seek Malik.
Seek Malik.
Seek Malik.
Shirt. I like that. That's a shirt. That's a shirt.
Right. Well, I think brotherhood, you gotta be vulnerable with each other, right?
Yeah.
Once you get to a point, you gotta be vulnerable. You gotta be able to. You know what? It's funny. It's almost like what you would be to your therapist. Right? It's the same type of deals. And you probably feel more comfortable talking to your boy about something.
That's right.
Come on.
So I think that, and to go back to his point, you need to reflect things off other men.
Yeah.
Right? Not necessarily mean you're going to listen to him.
Right.
But I want to know how you dealt with the situation, how you felt with the situation.
Yep.
Because you're going to need that. Brotherhood is like fatherhood.
Forever. Okay. We're going to be talking about that soon.
Forever.
Fatherhood.
Right.
Tim, what about you? What advice you got for these brothers?
Value the time with your brothers that you have. Earlier this month, we're still in October. Yeah, earlier this month was the 1 year anniversary of a brother. I lost my brother. Non-biological, but my brother. For the first time in my life. So that like opened up all of our minds to just being present for one another.
That's right.
And we start talking about high maintenance friends versus low maintenance friends. So try to be a low maintenance friend. So that's one that doesn't require a lot.
That's right.
And you're trying to still give back as much. So be present and value the time that you have with each other.
Wow.
Like, we all have life. We all got things that's going on, but make time for your brothers, whether it's a phone call, a text message, or just going out to watch the game, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Right. One of the things I would say is just hearing everything y'all said is it sounds like, and this is the advice. It sounds like, brotherhood has to be developed. So don't try to get popcorn brotherhood.
Talk it.
You just throw it in the microwave real quick. Pop, 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 pop. It's quick, right? You're gonna get it quick. If you're gonna have a brotherhood, get something that takes a little time. Let it be a savory brotherhood. You may have to let it sit in a pot for about 6 or 7 hours, so it really gets the juices down to where you want it. You know what I'm saying? And so just allow your brotherhood to grow and really get in there deep, and don't allow yourself to be looking for brotherhood so bad where you just be like, okay, I'm gonna take whatever I could get.
He's the instrumental behind it.
I'm gonna take whatever I can get. All right. Anyways,
in the name of brotherhood, I like to make sure I bring up stuff so I keep it personal, local, and immediate, and I'm not just giving out broad strokes in what I'm saying.
Yes.
So when I talk about that, like making sure you trust and you show up for them, and I talked about earlier, like I'm kind of like that individual who's like, how come you didn't call me?
Yeah.
Oh, the checkups.
I can tell you that I called Abdul, and Abdul said that to me. I said, the last 3 weeks I've been struggling. I've been having some problems with my blood pressure.
Yeah.
Been having some chest pains, right? And that was a couple months ago.
Right.
And I called him. What took you so long?
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, nah, he talked to me, had time for me. And he's like, nah, I'm having somebody call you. Then he followed up. They call you yet. Nah, she calling you now.
Yeah.
And then like a couple days later, he followed up, right? So it's like, it's also that like, you saying that like, you say what you're going to do, but that check in and that follow up, right? And not being like.
That's a big one.
And no, just. It, and you made a commitment. Like Abdul has a million things to do, and he's checking up on his mans, right? Yes. And that, once again, that's love, right? And he's using any influence or power that he has. He's like, look, let me go ahead and make sure my man's is good. And and I just want to say, like, I love you for that. I appreciate you too,
man. Yeah. Yo, that was a big one because you were like, I got a doctor appointment in 2 weeks. I was like, no, you don't. No. You got one tomorrow.
Get that in.
Like we're gonna get you a doctor's appointment tomorrow, man. You can't go 2 weeks from now.
Right.
What are you talking about? And so we're very serious about men's health over here. And so before we go, it's just very important. If anybody's having some they want to go see a doctor, they need some help, you're not sure about something, just give us a call because I will get you connected to somebody at Trinity Health. I'll get you connected to somebody at Central. We got our microfit. You just want to see what's going on with you? Every Wednesday from 9 to 12, they're doing microfits for free at Central. Just gotta set up your appointment. So if you have something you got a little pain, something going on, call me. I'm gonna call Trinity Health. I'm gonna get you an appointment. Hopefully you got some insurance. If you don't, we'll figure that out too. Don't let anything be a barrier to your health because when you don't take care of your health, you might be out of here. I always remind people of the great. I'm gonna say the great Chadwick Boseman.
Come on.
Chadwick Boseman was the Black Panther.
Come on.
Right?
Yeah. Invincible, man.
He was the Black Panther. He died of prostate cancer. Remember, prostate cancer, all you have to do to find out whether or not you have prostate cancer is go get a blood test. PSA test is what it's called. And so, no knock on Chadwick Boseman. His brother also had prostate cancer. So that was like a something to tell him that maybe I should get checked too. So if you're listening to this right now and you're over 42 years old, usually they say 45, but if you're African American, I'm gonna say 42 years old. Set up a PSA test for yourself tomorrow. This is a challenge for you. Go out and get a PSA test tomorrow just so you know. Set it up. And then we'll be good to go. Let's get out of here with our meditation. I got a great meditation for you guys. Here we go. I'm deep in here.
Pause. That's crazy.
Whew.
That's wild.
Close your eyes. Today, we talked about brotherhood. I want you to bring to your mind your best memory of brotherhood. I want you to see yourself happy, laughing, and feeling good with your brothers, with your friends. I want you to think about the activities and fun you share with your brothers. Feel the support. Feel the love. It's okay to say, I love you, brother. Go ahead. Give it a try. Say, I love you, brother. Allow yourself to remember the feeling of brotherly love shared mutually. It is important for men to have brotherhood. The bonds of brotherhood can lift you up, challenge you, and push you. Hopefully, all of your brotherhood bonds have been positive and impacted your life only in ways that have helped you. If you have sacrificed for your brotherhood bonds, if you have endured pain or loss, find a place in your heart and mind and forgive and let go. It is not okay for you to feel pain, but loss and sacrifice are a part of the deal. Continue to lift up your brothers. Continue to be their rock. Men need other men who they can trust, depend on, and confide in. Be a good man. You are a good man. Be a good brother. You are a good brother. Feel the warmth of knowing that you have good brothers in your life. Brotherly love is a special kind of love. The knowledge of knowing you have other men who have and will confide in you, be there for you, stand by your side, give you their last dollar, share a meal with you, give the clothes off their back, and be in your life for the rest of your life is a powerful thought. Continue to nurture your brotherhood. Allow it to grow deeper and deeper. Feed your brotherhood. Allow it to flourish. Be the kind of brother you want other brothers to be. Now take a deep breath in. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it for one more beat. And now breathe out. This has been the Manhood Tree. Another episode. We appreciate you guys listening today. We'll be back next week, 6 o'clock. It may not be 6 o'clock on the dot, but it may be 6:15. But tune in, join us, follow us, like the page, share the podcast and the clips that we do all week. We're trying to grow our community, the Manhood Tree. Well, next year, 2025, we'll be having new groups, new fatherhood monologues, new men's health events, and you should be a part of them. See you next week. Peace.